Alright guys, so I'm here with the lady and doing a little preventive maintenance before I really have to do preventive maintenance. Um, Been up and down the coast about 4 times and it's time that I do oil change, even though I did the oil change last month, but due to going up and down California 4 times and my little running around here and there, it's time for me to do preventive maintenance. Oil is one of them. It's almost, well, I'm overdue for transmission service. Um, you guys know that I use distilled water and I add some this liquid made for aluminum. So that way this stays all clean, or if not, use the blue coolant. And I recommend the blue coolant for aluminum. Um, Honda makes, well, I can't say Honda, but the blue coolant is better than the Dex coolant and the red coolant. It's my take. I use it even in my semi trucks and the mid-size trucks, even though they call for the red ones. But I like to use the blue one because it's aluminum. And you guys know that I got an aluminum block. Everything runs through the aluminum, trying to keep it clean. So I took out the spark plugs. They're little. They're only about almost about to make a year. In September she'll make a year, and they're not in bad shape. Just dusted, cleaned a little bit. They didn't grab anything abrasive. Just used the towel and wiped, and that's the look on it. So I'm not gonna go get new plugs. But this video is mainly for what I was about to do. And let me reverse it and take it out. Always do this by hand. Do not use this. Okay. So when you guys saw me reversing, you guys saw the little orange dot. The little orange dot represents the back of that spark plug. And what I want to do is make sure that the front of that spark plug is facing this way in the cylinder. So basically the way I want it is like this, facing down inside that cylinder. So we mark it. And this is what we call clocking. You clock your spark plugs. If your engine is 6 cylinders and the 8 cylinders, you guys got them sideways, so you don't want that spark detonating on the side. Like say this is the spark plug right here. You don't want it to detonate against the wall. You want it to detonate against the cylinder, the whole gap of the cylinder, the open area, so it can combust and make more power. So when you clock everything, what do you call it? You have a better advantage, a little bit more oomph. Just a little. I mean, it's nothing major. Like you guys are gonna say, "Oh man, I clocked it and I got 8 horsepower." Like when they tell you about the hype of that. The only reason why I use that is again, sometimes the speeds that I go, and trust me, you don't want to be doing what I do. You guys already know what's going on right there. And I eat tires. I know you guys are going to say it's an alignment issue. Nah, man, I take my car, it gets aligned every time. So now that you see the way the dot is, so you know the dot, so now you know the spark plug is sitting like this. This is the way I want the spark plug to sit inside the cylinder, like this. Not like this, like this. So this is what we call clocking your spark plugs. And again, I'm doing it on the lady, so if I'm doing it on the lady, I'm going to do it on all my other customers' cars too, because again, price of fuel where I live at is $7.31, even with the Biden 90-day tax holiday bullshit, I'm still paying high price, and you guys know I'm trying to flip them off. But I got to be nice to the president because, again, I was nice to the other one, so that I got to be fair because I don't vote. So anyway, let's get back to this because I really hate politics. It's not my forte. If it was up to me, I'll hang them off on the fucking light bulb, and or do the airplane shit and tie them up on a chair for every fucking American and every illegal here inside the United States to slap the fuck out of them. But this is why I don't do that. I stay away from that. So back to the lady. Like I told you guys, clocking. I clock mines. I mean, you really don't have to. You just stick them in if you want. But I like to clock mines so that way at least I know where the spark plug is. You can sit it the other way where the dot is actually the open area, and you can have it the reverse way, however you want it. You just want to make sure that that gap and opening, so when it fires, is doing this in the cylinder. And since it's facing downward, it's going to do this into the cylinder and around that whole gap, not against the wall. And then you have burnt on one side. And this is what causes sometimes the cylinders to get hot and you start consuming oil a little bit faster. I don't care what oil you use. I like to use high mileage. Unfortunately, I got this brand and it was given to me. Okay, so I didn't pay for this. Someone donated this to me. And thank you for the donation. I can't say who it was because, again, they do a lot of donations for a lot of my customers, and they want to remain silent. So they go and they know that they give me belts, alternators, starters, batteries, plugs, anything I need to keep the lady going. They want to see this lady reach 300,000 miles, and she is just about there. I think by the end of the year, I should be at 300,000 miles. Did little small maintenance, and she is ready for an overhaul. Trust me, when she goes in, I may do an engine swap while I overhaul this one and keep the lady still moving, and then put the other engine back in after I'm done overhauling it. Because it's a brand new transmission, so I want to keep, everything the same. So they rebuilt that one all new. I got a 2-year warranty. Paid $800 for that one for a 2-year warranty. Have to get new solenoids and do the maintenance on it. Oil pressure solenoids, the torque converter solenoids, drop all the oil inside the torque and inside the transmission and put everything brand new again. And then add this little cleaner that helps clean inside. With the oil itself, has some cleaning properties, but this helps, everything else keeps itself in. But anyway, we're gonna go back. You guys going to see how I do this one-handed, and I always say I'm a one-man army. Well, I'm doing the lady, and I'm trying to show you guys. See how I put the clock. You see where the dot is. And always run it down by hand. Don't use the pneumatic tools or the impact tools, man. I don't care if you're a pro. I don't care how long you've been doing this. All it takes is one time for you to mess it up, and you see, this is what I mean about the clocking. So, how do we fix the clocking? Well, I have to back this all the way back out again. I want to make sure that I can get it out. So I'm pulling up as I turn. I'm almost at the last thread, and there she goes. So I'm gonna go halfway back and lock it down. And let's see if it goes again. Let's see. Like I said, you just want to clock them. and she's still pointing now more the other way. So let's go and take her back out again. And this is the only thing that's you fiddling around with the clocking. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely take it out. And we're going to turn the washer, since we know that it's the other way, and we're going to turn it so that way when the washer hits, it allows the washer to spin and I'm able to clock it again. And mind you, we just want to clock it. So now I'm clocking it to the top. You guys saw that I was up on the top. Sorry, I'm leaning down. Tall man in a small little car. And clocking. It's still up wrong and it's still up to the top. So we'll come back to that one. I really want to show you guys how to do it, but it's kind of hard with the video camera in one hand and in another. So let's look for the little orange dot. The orange dot is right there. As you guys know, we're using the bracing up on the top. Don't want it to move, and now I'm just locking. There it goes. So now I know orange dot, orange the mark. So all I want to do is have that orange dot facing the manifold, or facing us, the radiator. Number 1 is clocked. Number 2 is 360. Number 3 is right there. It's just pitched over just a little. So we're gonna go again. Dot. We're gonna go back to cylinder number 2 and we're gonna get that one clocked. And correlation. 1 and 3 are twins. You ever heard about that? Twin cylinders? Well, if you ever have to do valve lashing, this is where it comes into play. So now this one is off. So remember what I said, twins? And you know, this one was up here and this one is on the other side. So now we got to get the clocking right on them. And I want to make sure that I got the clocking done right, because again, we still got to snug them down. And let me pause real quick so I can get the big baby out so I can snug them down. Alright, so this is what I mean about the baby. It's a snap-on torque wrench, 3/4. And this one, I love this. It's an all-in-one. And right now we're at 16. I'm going to drop it down. We're going to set it at 12. And if you notice where I'm at foot-pounds, not in libras, inch-pounds. So the turns to 30 degrees, turns, but we want 16. And that's in newtons, but again, I want 12. And 12 is a little too high. I can go with a round number of, 8. But even then, you know, I want to make sure that, again, as I tighten down that clocking, I want to get that clocking to where I want it. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to tighten down. Oh, and just in case, I'm going to try to do one. I'm going to try to do it like this. You see that? I already reached. And it's telling me I'm putting 13. I'm bottomed out already, but I'm already right there. I can live with that just a little bit. Number 2, I can't live with that one. At least this one is facing into the cylinder, and that one is facing the wall. And I don't want it to go and spark in here. I want it to spark over there. I don't want it to burn what we call the valve, because when the valve comes down, it's in the spark fire, and it's going to be hot where it's actually coming down, and I don't want it to do that. I want everything to be uniformly. So we're going to clock her again. And again, this is how I do my clocking, and I'm going to fiddle around with it and get the clocking done right, and we'll go from there. But this is how I do my clocking. You guys have a prime example. I'm not going to show you how I get number 2 to actually see it right. You just got to play around with it and the threads, and it's going to sit perfectly where you want it to clock. But you have to play with it. It's not going to be, first try, first done. I mean, I did it with the cylinder number 1, and I'm close in cylinder number 4. Number 3 is, we're almost there. But again, we just close enough. And again, that's what I want. I don't want it, banging against the wall. I want it inside. I want the fire to be inside the cylinder. I don't want the fire this way. I want the fire like that. This is the way I want the spark into the cylinder to create power. So this is sometimes where you have, you feel your engine stumbling. Well, that's because the clocking, the fire is doing this and pre-detonating, bang, 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 like ricocheting against the wall. And you throw fire and fire will bounce back. That's what's happening. So just clock your plugs, and this is the way I do them. Everyone has different method, but again, I'm here with the lady, and whatever I do to the lady, you guys know that I do it to my other customers' cars. I make sure that everything's clean, everything's checked. Check your boot ends, make sure everything's cool. So that way we have no problems, no issues. And this is what preventive maintenance is also. You make sure, I know I'm pretty sure you guys are not mechanically inclined, but this is why we do, videos to help you, to teach you. I wasn't a professional. I some of it I learned by watching others. I asked questions, and they told me, look, this is what we do. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, we do this in the racing application. Well, we do this at the dealership also, but smart technicians do this at the dealership to make sure that that car never comes back, unless it's coming back for other things, but not for that same problem. And the customer says, I just did my spark plugs, and my car, feels shitty now. And that's because the clocking. This is why we clock things. This is why we are the professionals, and others are just, parts changers. Don't be a parts changer, be a professional. This is how we learn, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do things. You guys already know I'm having a leak. You guys already know that she's due for, again, head gasket, but again, she's going to make it to 300,000 miles before I rip this engine out and do an overhaul. And I'm locking on metal, and hopefully she's listening to me and says, yep. But anyway, you guys see, this is how we clock them. If you have any questions, leave your comments down below. This is how we do, and this is what we clock. Meaning just a simple marker, just mark it. And that's all you need to do, and just make sure that the fire is facing into the cylinder, not against the wall of the cylinder. Saves you on oil, saves you on gas, and you get better horsepower.